Thank you. I'm glad to have the opportunity to discuss the proposed new national drug strategy here today. And I know that Minister Catherine Byrne was not available today or tomorrow, which is disappointing. But I also know that there are meetings relating to the concerns that have been brought to her attention about the new strategy from the community and voluntary sectors. And I know she's dealing with those. So it's opportune that I can highlight those issues today and that they will be on the Dáil record. Now, first, I do acknowledge Minister Byrne's own commitment in this area. But what's needed in the new strategy is to see an urgency on the part of government to show that they are really committed when it comes to addiction. Now, it was in Dublin Central in the North Inner City where heroin appeared first, the late 70s and 80s. And it was the community response with the late Tony Gregory playing a central role. And the North Inner City led the way in taking an interagency approach to drugs through the local drugs task forces. Now, that interagency approach meant that the statutory reps from Justice, which included probation and the guards, from the HSE, from education, from social protection, which included FÁS and community employment schemes, the local authority at the same table with the community reps and the voluntary sector reps. And of course, it's the voluntary sector, they're the ones where the projects are that are working directly with those in addiction. So that's the model of a best approach when it works, and it works when there is real commitment on the part of all the participants. But the problem is that over a recent number of years, we've seen a slow erosion of state support and interest. So for the new strategy, the government needs to ensure that all the relevant agencies and departments are active with the voluntary and community sector. The community and voluntary sector's concerns, and it's ironic at a time when there is progress in relation to, for example, the medically supervised injecting rooms, the tablet regulation, even though it took a long time, and the work of the Gardaí in tracking the proceeds of crime at the local crime gang level, and also opening the debate on decriminalisation. But the new strategy has to prioritise actions targeting those communities most affected. And the evidence and the statistics show who those communities are. They're the communities of poverty, of educational disadvantage, of unemployment, communities with serious drug intimidation. So I think we also need to look at the terms prevention and education. I think the terms intervention and awareness are probably more relevant today, especially if the new strategy supports the programmes that the community and youth organisations are doing in this area, which could be expanded into schools and into youth reach. And it's the need for programmes that will develop the critical thinking abilities of young people. The Young People's Facilities and Services Fund, it was a very significant tool in the prevention and education arm of the strategy, and it's illogical to not continue it without a viable alternative, because its focus was those young people most affected in areas of economic and social disadvantage. And it was a fund that for most of the years it had regular monitoring to ensure it went where it was supposed to go. I think the new strategy also needs a clear implementation structure, timeframes and the various aims and objectives, with clear roles for each of the players, statutory, voluntary and community, and also the necessary resources to really make a difference. And within that, timely access to treatment for those in addiction. Alcohol, the new strategy has to be clear and unequivocal in addressing alcohol. There are agreed recommendations in the substance misuse strategy. It also needs to seriously consider specific communities, the travelling community, ethnic communities, the new communities, the LGBT community, and also to include drug users, their voices in improving and supporting services. So my question at the end here is, when will the new strategy be brought to Cabinet? Will it be before the summer recess? And with the change in Taoiseach and a possible Cabinet reshuffle, where will that leave it? Thank you, Minister.